Okay, so Bar Kamta, who just was thrown out of the party, he shows up to the house of the palace of the king. Azal Amrle the Caesar, he goes over to the Caesar, the Caesar. Mardu Bach Yudai, the Jews have rebelled against you. The Jews are rebelling against you. They're fomenting a revolt against you. And the truth of the matter is that it's true. There were certain elements within the Jewish population at the time, as we're going to see coming up, that were rebellious and that believed in violent confrontation with the occupying Roman forces over there, which we're going to see soon in a second. How unbelievable history repeats itself over and over for Klal Yisrael. But he was turning it into like a national movement, and he made it into something that first of all drew the Caesar's attention to it, and secondly exaggerated it tremendously and brought a proof that the highest echelons of Jewish and religious society, all the way up to the Beis Hamikdash, were all involved in a merida, all involved in a rebellion against the king. And this is how he went ahead and did it. It's an incredible story. He goes to the king and he says, Mardu Bach Yudai, Amrle Miyemar, who says, right? And you have to realize this guy's probably risking his life. Can you imagine? Can you imagine coming to the Caesar and saying such a thing, bringing an accusation like this and not being able to back it up? He was obviously very confident in his thing. Amrle, he says, I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. I've proved for you that they are rebelling against you. Shardaluhu Churban. Send the Churban back with me. I'm going to send me your best cow, and I'm going to bring it down there to the Beis Hamikdash. And we know the halacha is that Goyim are allowed to bring Karbanos in the Beis Hamikdash. And I'm going to bring it, and just let's see if they bring it, or if they don't bring it. Chazisa in makavinin lay. Let's see if they actually bring it or not. Meaning, if they deny the Caesar the opportunity to bring a Churban in the Beis Hamikdash, that's like a slap in the face. That's like an insult to the Caesar. So let's see if they're going to bring it or not. Okay. Azal Shadar B'Yadei Agla Tlasa. So the Caesar went and sent with this guy. And he didn't go. The Caesar didn't go, but he went, meaning to get a cow. And he sent the beautiful egel, a beautiful calf, the third one, different perushim what it means, the third one. The third one that was born to the mother is the best one, or the third generation one. Okay. Meaning he sent a nice one, a fine one, something with no reason to be rejected. Bahadi de Pa'asi, however, on the way, Shadei Bemuma Beniv Sasayim. So on the way, he put a mum into this animal. Now, what does that mean? The Torah says that a person, we're not allowed to bring a korban, we're not allowed to bring a sacrifice to the Beis Hamikdash, to bring up on the Mizbeach, if it has a mum, if it has some sort of deficiency in a whole list of ways. And if it's deficient, so then it's not allowed to be brought as a korban. It has to be switched with another one. There's all sorts of halachos. Now, it happens to be that there's different halachos for what's considered to be a mum for a korban brought by a Jew, and what's considered to be a mum, what's considered to be a deficiency for a korban that's brought by a non-Jew. So on the way up to the Beis Hamikdash, he made this type of a mum that was for one, not for the other. Let's see what he says. Shoda be'muma b'niv svasayim. So some say that he made some sort of a puncture in the upper lip or the upper, mouth of the animal. That there's some sort of a cataract on the eye. Basically, he did something. He did some sort of an act to this animal. Meaning, I meant different. Not that there's different halachos for the Jews and non-Jews in terms of the korban that they bring, but that's something that they wouldn't see as a mum. In other words, for us, an animal that comes in with a cataract, or an animal that comes in with such a puncture in the lip, so that for us is considered to be a mum. But the Romans, in their perspective of things, that's not considered to be a mum. In other words, if we would reject the korban for that type of a reason, they would see that as absurd and outlandish, and that would be itself seen as a rebellion. That's the idea. He did something imperceptible that so that would force us to reject the korban, but that would force the Romans to not accept our explanation. Right? Okay. I don't know. Again, you just see how things work. With Klal Yisrael being forced into situations, lose situations. That's what's happening over here. So now they had a whole big debate now in the among the Rabbanon over there, the Beis Medrash, about what to do with this korban. because on the one hand, they wanted to bring the carbon. Savar banan the kurve mishum shalom malchus. They wanted to bring the carbon because they don't want to mess with the Caesar. They don't want to get into an issue with shalom malchus, with getting into with the government. Reb Zachariah ben Avkulus says, Yomru Bali Mumin, craven the Gamim Mizbeach. We can't do that. People are going to be in the base of Mikdash. They're going to see this type of an animal. Other Kohanim, other people are going to see this type of an animal, and they're going to learn the wrong halacha. They're going to see that you could bring a carbon with this type of a mum, with this type of a wound, and that's the wrong halacha. So we can't do that. We can't do something that's going to teach the wrong halacha. Savra l'miktale. Yeah, they thought maybe to kill him. What would be the justification to kill him? He's a moser, right? There's a halacha of a moser. There's a halacha that if a person is determined by the Beis Din or Sanhedrin to be a person who is trying to get other people killed, to get other people in trouble or killed or potentially killed, as is certainly in this case, there's a halacha. A person's allowed to kill him. We're allowed to, they could paskin that this person it's considered a rodef, like he's an aggressor who is trying to. So Savar Levitzalei thought maybe to kill him. Yeah, so that he shouldn't go and tell those. They realize that this guy is potentially a loose cannon over here, and he's on this mission, and maybe he's going to go get us in trouble. No, Reb Zachariah. So Reb Zachariah said again, Yomru matil mum bekodshim yarig. People are going to think that maybe if you bring a mum to the mizbeach, they're going to get killed, right? Because people are not going to know all the intrigue over here and all the politics. They're just going to see a guy who brought an animal with a hole in his lip, and he was killed. Okay. I just want to say, about this is like one of these gemaras that it's not for now, but there's a lot deeper. There's a lot deeper meaning going on here. It's all true. It's all true as far as the metzias of what's going on. But all these ideas about whether it was in the lips or in the eyes, and all these types of things. The Maharal and many other mefarshim. There's a lot going on, but that's not the type of learning that we're supposed to do for Tisha B'Av. But it's not just stam. All these little stories and these things, and the details that are mentioned, and it's not stam. Okay, so that's what we're holding. We're holding that Bar Kamsa came back with the carbon, with the mum, and they're in this debate. They thought maybe to bring it, no, we would learn the wrong halacha. They thought maybe to kill him, no, because people would again misunderstand. Now Rabbi Yochanan just makes a comment here. Now, again, Rabbi Yochanan is the one who started this whole Gemara off by bringing in the pasuk of Ashrei Adam and Fachi Tamid Makshali Yipol Barach. So I don't know if that's really connected to this or not. It's just interesting. It's the same person, the same Tana. So Rabbi Yochanan says An Vasluso Shel Rabbi Zachariah ben Avkalos Hechriva es Beisenu v'Sarfa es Hechalenu v'Heglasenu me'artzenu. So it's a very, very powerful line, a very sharp line. He says, the humility, the tolerance, the humility of Rav Zachariah ben Avkulus. In other words, this person, Rav Zachariah ben Avkulus, who was the one who championed, I assume what he means is he championed the cause to A, not take the carbon and bring it, and B, not kill the person. So Rabbi Yochanan it seems to feel that his humility led him to error over here in some level, that he should have, as a result of his humility, that's what Rabbi Yochanan says, as a result of his, I guess, again, I'm not sure why he's singling him out if he was just one of the people. It must be that everybody else agreed with him also. So maybe he was the one who kind of championed this cause. But the idea is that because of his tolerance and his inability to be machlit, to decide, the action has to be taken over here, otherwise there could be devastating circumstances. So Rabbi Yochanan says, because of that midah, Hechriva es Beisenu, so the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. V'Sarf es Hechalenu, and the Heichal was burned down. V'Higlasenu me'artzeinu, and we were sent into Galus. So, in other words, it seems like Rabbi Yochanan felt that there should have been something more decisive done. There should have been something more decisive done to get rid of this threat. Okay, Shudder. Okay, so that's it. So that's that. From there, the ball got rolling. In other words, the message got back to Rome. The message got back to that the Jews are rebelling, and that's it. So they sent now armies and legions down there to quell this alleged rebellion, which again was all set off by this person Bar Kamsa, who don't know what happened to him either. I don't know. It'll be interesting. No. Okay. Shadar alavaihu Nero Caesar. So now they sent the Nero Caesar, who was like a general in the Roman army. So they sent him down there now to lay siege, to attack Yerushalayim. quell this revolt. And also, we're going to see that it didn't have to be as a result of all these things that the Beis Hamikdash got destroyed. We're going to see that's going to be the result of a lot of other foolish decisions and bad people and all sorts of stories that we're going to see along the way, that each one is going to lead further and further to the actual destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. But again, that Chazal laid the blame for the whole story getting rolling, the whole ball gets started rolling from this party in Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. So again, obviously, at any point along the way, if any one of these things would not have happened, if any one of these people would have been Mizgaber and their Midos, any one of them, just have to think about that every time we have a situation. Like, what are the potential consequences down the line? And, could you imagine? What could you even potentially imagine if I take an aggressive stance here? What could possibly happen? And again, I'm just telling you from experience, from lots of mistakes and learning the hard way. These. It's very good to be mafnim, to take these words inside and work on these midos. Okay, Shadu Nero Kesar. Okay, Kika Asi, as he approached, so Nero Kesar is now approaching. Shada Giro the Mizrach. This is a fascinating story. So he shoots an arrow to the east. Asa Nafal B'Yerushalayim. A wind came, just like this. Yeah, wind came and sent it to Yerushalayim. L'ma'arav, same thing. He shoots an arrow down to the west. Again, another wind comes. Asa Nafal B'Yerushalayim. It also goes in the direction of Yerushalayim. He's looking for simonim over here. He's looking for signs. What am I supposed to? Should I do this? La'arba ruchos hashamayim asa nafal b'Yerushalayim. Right, he gets a nace. Right, this Roman general has some sort of a nace going on, that he's shooting arrows, and each time he shoots it, he's perplexed. It turns and it goes towards Yerushalayim. The wind picks it up. So he sees a kid over there. He sees a Jewish kid. He's there on the outskirts of Yerushalayim. Amar Leili Yanuka. So he says to this kid, "Psokli psukecha." Tell me what psukim are you learning these days? What this is talking about is an interesting thing. This is actually even brought in Shulchan Aruch. Again, we're going to talk about these halachos now. But there are certain things that are still considered, even today, even B'Zmanenu, are still considered to be a little bit of Ruach HaKodesh, a little bit of Nevios, a little, certain things that people say and certain things that happen. There's a little bit of Ruach HaKodesh, and a person who knows how to decipher, can see for real. One of those things is to say to a kid, "Psokli psukecha." Tell me the pasuk that you're learning, and the kid just whatever pasuk comes to mind, that's the pasuk that the kid learns. And so it's it's not just stam that the kid said that pasuk. Hashem is madrich the kid. Hashem is what pasuk comes out, and there's meaning there. We don't necessarily know what the meaning is. Maybe we're not on a level to ever know the meaning, but there's meaning there to be deciphered. Okay, I don't know how we take this B'Zmanenu if we hold that we're on the level to understand this at all. But this is what he says. So our lady Yanuka, so Nero Kesar heard of this thing. Maybe the Romans had a similar idea. Psokli psukecha. Tell me, what is it that you're learning? Amrulay, so he said to him, "V'nasati es nikmasi be'edom beyad ami Yisrael," etc. He quotes him a pasuk in Yechezkel, one of the psukim that's talking about the ultimate redemption, the ultimate geula. Yeah, and it says, "V'nasati es nikmasi be'edom." I'm gonna place my wrath, my vengeance is going to be against Edom. Edom is Rome. Yeah, beyad ami Yisrael, through the hand of my nation Israel. Meaning Hashem is saying that at the end of days, I'm going to exact vengeance from Edom. Yeah, the Edom is from Esav. It's the tribe that came from Esav. Yeah, and I'm going to exact revenge from Rome. Yeah, for doing what they did. Omar. So Nero Kesar hears this pasuk, and he says, right. So he says two things, right? He's got two signs going on here. One sign that he takes as a sign from heaven is that he's shooting these arrows and they're landing in Yerushalayim. So that's encouraging him to attack, right? Obviously, that's like a sign, you can imagine a thing, a general, he's just trying to get his weapons, his artillery set up, and every time he takes a shot, he gets a fortuitous wind, and it takes it exactly in the direction it needs to go. So that's telling him go. It's telling him go to attack. And then he sees this kid, and the kid tells him that Hashem says, one day I'm going to exact vengeance, I'm going to exact revenge, from Edom for everything that they've done. So Amar Kutshabrichu boy l'chruve beise. He says Hashem wants to destroy his house. Yeah, but he wants to wipe his hands clean on this guy, right? Meaning on me, on himself. It's an amazing thing. He says like this. He chaps what's going on here. He says, look, he understands there's such an idea that Hashem, that Klal Yisrael deserve destruction, not Chas v'Shalom Klal Yisrael, but that Klal Yisrael deserves a patch. and in this case, the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. There's such a thing. There's such a thing that could be. But he also knows that at the end, what happens to Paro, what happens to Haman, what happens to the Yevanim. He sees what happens at the end. So he says that so Hashem wants me to go ahead and so to speak, do his dirty work and wipe his hands clean on me and destroy me afterwards. He says, no, thank you. Also, he says he ran off. Nero Caesar ran off, and he was Megayer, and he became Jewish. He converted to Judaism, and generations later, Rabbi Meir came from him. That's what it says. An amazing thing. So they say it's Rabbi Meir Balanes, that this was Meir Balanes, amazing thing, grandson of them. So I don't know. I have written over here when this is my Gemara, by the way, from Shana Aleph in Or Yerushalayim. The first time that I learned through this Agarata, and Agarata has a lot of hard words. So I have it's thick with English words written in here between the lines and all these things, and so I have all these little notes written in over here. So I just have over here. History records Nero's death in 68 CE. Yeah, and the Churban was in 70. So in other words, like 2 years before the Churban, he was recorded as having died. So they say that maybe he didn't really die. He kind of ran off and disappeared, and was Megayer, converted to Judaism, and Reb Meir came from him, and maybe because it's like an embarrassing thing for that to have happened, like a major general to have joined the enemy, so to speak. So they so cover it up by saying, okay, I don't know, that I just saw it in the book. I don't even have okay. Shadri Levayu la Aspasianus Caesar. So now they sent over the next one, and this is Vespasian. Aspasianus Caesar is what historians call Vespasian Caesar. Okay. Also Tsar Allah Tlasjani. So he went ahead and set up a siege for 3 years. Okay, so now the Gemara is shifting focus. We've discussed now the story of, I'll stop over here again and I'll continue. But until now, we've discussed the story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. We've discussed how Bar Kamsa went to the Roman Caesar and told on him that the Jews were rebelling. He brought the cow and he made this imperfection in it, this wound that caused us to reject it from the Beis Hamikdash, which convinced the Caesar that we were actually rebelling. He sent first Nero. Nero had this incident where he shot the arrows and asked the kid for the pasuk, and he converted. And then they sent next Vespasian. Now the story is going to shift to what was going on in Yerushalayim during this time. So I'll stop here and we'll start again.